morning, Holy Ship Bowlers, and welcome to the show. I am Sharon with my energetic bestie, Bethany. Good morning, Bethany. How are you this morning?
Girl, I am absolutely divine. How are you?
I am wonderful. And knowing that you're absolutely divine, I'm really excited to hear about your Holy Ship Balls moment this week because they're always so good.
Well, my holy shift fall this week was a download that I received. And what is a hue man? What is a hue? A hue is a fractal piece of light. And what kind of hue man are you? Are you the type that's in fear, worry, anxiety, deceit, dishonor? Or are you the reflection of love? Joy, happiness, excitement, because we know like attracts like. So what you put out is what you get back. So
Absolutely.
that download was pretty amazing for me because what kind of hue, man, am I reflecting?
Being your spiritual fractal of light. And I mean, we're, 98% water or whatever that percentage is. I may have got it wrong, people. So please email us because at least we know you're out there. But I may have got that percentage wrong, but we are a large percentage of water, and water reflects light as well. So our particles, our water, everything. So it's an interesting concept to be a hue man. I love it. I love it.
Yes. So Sharon, what was your holy shift ball this week?
Well, my holy shift ball was a holy effing shift ball, I've got to tell you. So I co-host. Ron is like nice enough to let me co-host his radio show one day a week, and it was one of my topics this week was about poisoning the waters in the United Kingdom. Oh my God! All of a sudden, I can't talk. I can't talk. What's going on? Okay, so welcome to the aquatic narcotic era. Researchers found cocaine in every single shrimp they tested in New England's waterway. Trace cocaine in every single shrimp. So they went, oh, and it gets better. In addition to cocaine, they found Xanax, ketamine, Valium, as well as banned pesticides and other harmful consumer products. And I mean, isn't it crazy? Two British universities embarked on a study to find the presence of micropollutants in aquatic life. And then they found what they didn't expect. I mean, think of it. If they were in their lab, we just played bingo on New Year's Eve, so bingo's fresh in my head. But if they've got, a bingo card going in their lab about what they're going to find in the shrimp on cocaine was not a square on their card. It was
No, no,
definitely not.
no. You know,
It's like
it's
I got shrimp
interesting.
on cocaine. B1. Woo! No, that wasn't happening in that lab. It just
You know,
wasn't.
it kind of puts a new perspective of cocktail. So
Absolutely having a cocktail. Just grab a shrimp and feel better. I mean, I was shocked. I was appalled. But what also really shocked and appalled me, oh, Jake Hudson, what 12. Hey, Jake, thank you for joining us this morning. The other thing that really shocked me about this, like beyond the obvious, was that, and they published this study too. Okay. So what they said was such regular occurrence with illicit drugs was surprising. However, we might expect to see that in urban areas such as London, but not in smaller towns and rural catchments. They would expect to see this in an urban area? Are we kidding right now?
wow,
What the heck is going on in the world?
wow,
I I was
wow.
absolutely shocked. So what that and they found it in every single shrimp. It wasn't one. It wasn't. It was. Do they serve shrimp on mirrors? I don't know, Ron. I'm not sure. Oh,
Wow.
because that's how you snort cocaine. Now I got it. Took me a second to connect the dots there, Ron. But I don't know. They might beats me. Well, they may as well. I mean, seriously.
Wow. Wow.
Um. Yeah. Go ahead.
Very interesting. Very that
Mhm.
I mean that shift that is a holy shift ball thinking that you're getting shrimp and you're getting high doses of narcotics.
Well, not high doses, trace amounts,
Well,
but still,
you eat enough. I
you're
mean, if
getting
you was to
dosed.
eat, if you ate enough, I mean, if you went to a buffet and just sat down and
And
just,
load it up. No wonder people love buffets so much. They're all getting high off the frickin'
yes,
seafood. I mean, come on.
yes,
What the
awesome,
hell?
awesome. Well, Sharon, who do we have on the Holy Shift Ball podcast today?
Today we have Vincent Genna. And Vincent Genna is a psychic medium. He has 41 years of of experience in metaphysics, the paranormal, and psychology. And he helps you release unconscious blocks and harness the law of attraction. So without further ado, come on in, Vincent.
How are you? Great to see you guys here. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for coming back. This is wonderful.
Vincent, what is your holy shift ball moment that when you were going through it, it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening to me. But when you came out the other side, you were like, oh my gosh, this
Oh my
shifted
gosh,
my whole reality.
my whole life has been a holy shift ball. I mean, yeah, it's been crazy, especially after I had this spiritual awakening. But truly, Bethany and Sharon, what winds up happening is once you have one holy shift ball and it completely transforms your life, you are set up for other ones, especially if you allow yourself to be open to them. And so it was one after another. First, I became psychic and I had psychic abilities after one holy shift ball. Then after that, then all of a sudden I started seeing dead people and I was a medium. Then I started talking with animals. And now I've been talking with extraterrestrials. That has been an incredible holy shift ball. They started communicating with me because you
Yes.
have to understand when you tap into that intuition, that whatever anybody wants to call it, your psychic ability, but it is intuition because everybody has that. It's the same exact thing. Once you tap into that and you start listening to that higher self, your soul's mind, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that gate keeps opening up. And at the same time, if you're doing self-healing work, which is what I've done for now, it's been about 43 years, just so that you know, it's a long time, then that gate opens even more so, that channel opens more so, and you start opening yourself up to all the higher consciousness, and all of this stuff starts happening to you. So I'm not special, but it's because I've accepted all of these holy shift balls that I get one right after another. It's amazing.
For sure, for sure. What has been like one of your most
You're giving us so much to work with here, Vincent. Where do
Oh,
we
I know.
start?
I'm just like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my god, me too, me too. Talking to the spirit realm, the galactic, angelic, and indigenous, the realms in which I work with. What was some of your first awarenesses that, oh shit, this is happening? Or what was the first time you saw a spirit in your living room, or
Or anywhere,
yeah,
yes.
or anywhere?
Right, right. Well, it's really funny, but as I was growing up, there was always this weird occasion that I might see something or something might make itself present to me, or there was a knowing that came in. But, being young and I was very naive in all of this work, believe me, the only thing I was infatuated with were the movies, The Exorcist and Poltergeist. Oh my God, Poltergeist was incredible. And then I started having experiences once that curiosity started to peak. So I hadn't had my spiritual awakening yet. That was completely different. But it was a curiosity. I wound up having what was called this out of body experience. Everybody knows this out of body experience. And I wound up going to a place that was haunted, and it scared the bejeebies out of me, And being a New Yorker, I wanted to use a different word. Um,
And you can.
oh,
We're okay
oh,
with that.
good. Yes,
We're
okay.
okay with that. Let her
It
fly.
it scared the shit out of me. Okay, that was it. And I saw myself above the bed, and before I traveled, went outside, saw this spirit. They were chasing me right away. Right away, they came down after me. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead now. That was the worst experience then.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, I started being introduced, and I was being told I'm going to be this spiritual teacher. I'd gone to a couple of psychics who told me, oh, the soul of Jesus is around me and that I'm going to be this spiritual master. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I was a professional actor then. I'm going to be in the movies. I'm going to get an Oscar. I'm going to get an Academy Award. That's what I see. And that's all I cared about. Meanwhile, they're telling me I'm going to be doing all of these things. Well, that's when the other holy shit ball hit the fan. And And then these things, I'm telling you, Steven Spielberg couldn't have created a better movie. It just started happening to me. Spirits were appearing. This download of information I never channeled before, and I never had this download of information. Like I said, I was ignorant to all of that. Now I'm getting the full meaning of life. My wife didn't know what to do. Was I going crazy? But she had known me for such a long time. She knew this was new stuff coming along. And we would go to the bookstores and the library, and we'd go to the occult section because that's what it was called back then. And we'd like, shh, don't let anybody see this.
Yeah, exactly. It was like
right, and we were
going to the dirty movie section in a video store.
Exactly. I never even went to a porn movie before, but the store was like it. It could have been just the same thing. I would have been just as embarrassed. Maybe they wouldn't have picked on me so much if they saw me at a porn movie. But here I am, we're in the bookstore, and I kept picking up books, and she was too, and we would just randomly open the pages, the Bhagavad Gita and Teaching to the Masters of the Far East, and we would just pick up those books, open them randomly, and there was a paragraph, word for word, of what I had said previously at home. And so that was the biggest shift that caused all of this to happen. From there, I had undaunting experiences, most all good, except this is what people have to understand and why they fear getting into this. In that realm, in that dimension, all right, there's all spirits that live there. And then there's the heavenly dimension. You got your earthly dimension, you got your heavenly dimensions. In your earthly dimensions, that's where the ghosts are. You don't cross over completely because you've had some kind of traumatic, horrible death. You were a horrible person, whatever. But there was a reason you didn't go through that light. You're stuck here. Those are the ghosts. Those are the only ones that wind up turning really, really negative and evil, shall we say, because they're just stuck there and misery enjoys company. Well, they also see everything. They can't move beyond that, but they still see everything, the whole picture.
Okay.
Vision here, okay?
Yeah.
So they saw that I was going to be a spiritual teacher, and they did everything they could to scare the hell out of me and stop me from going that route. And there were some scary experiences that my wife and I experienced, but we got control of it so quick that now nothing comes near me. I go to the most haunted places, and those spirits go and run away. And some even come to me that are stuck here. The most incredible one that came to me, my wife and I were in Italy, and we were in Rome, and we were visiting the Colosseum, and we had taken a night tour there. And I'm standing on a hill by myself overlooking the Colosseum with the famous, with the lit Colosseum at night that you see in so many pictures, right? And I'm standing there, and I'm standing like this, and all of a sudden I feel a presence standing next to me. I turn and look, and it's a Roman soldier in an entire regalia. Now, that was the oldest I've seen. I'm like looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, can I help you? He's like,
bud.
Yes, he says, I ask right away, are you stuck here or are you a guardian? Because there's some spirits that do come back to help other spirits to try to help them move on, right? And guard over, certain lost spirits. And so I asked, are you a guardian? He said, no, I'm stuck here. And I said, well, how can I help you? And he says, I don't know. And I'm like, well, you've got to go through the light. And meanwhile, my wife is calling me. She's down waiting in the van. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. I said, I got to go now. I got to go. And he's like following me. And I'm like, I can't, you find the light, move on. Michael, come on down and help.
Michael, we got somebody for you.
He actually looked like a condom commercial because, Trojan condoms, that's exactly what he looked like, right? And so I asked him, I said, what is your name? And he says, Marcus Marius. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's a typical Roman name. Okay. Pull that out of my ass. I don't know. I didn't know what that was. Well, for goodness, I get back to the van and I'm like, go, go, go. And I'm like signaling to my wife because there was other people in the van. I'm going, oh. And so she knows what that means right away. As soon as I'm, she knows I'm scared. Now, I don't get scared anymore, but I'm like shocked, right? Yeah. I go to my phone and I Google the name. And damn it, doesn't he pop up? He pops up. He told me that he was labeled a traitor. Well, there is a Marcus Marius who was an accountant for Caesar originally, and Caesar sent him to China because they had a Roman Empire that stretched out all the way to China. Well, he didn't like that. And after years, he formed a military and he became the general of the military. And he thought he would make his way back to Rome by fighting them and becoming a leader there again.
Okay.
But he was absolutely destroyed, him and his military. And he was humiliated by being cut up into pieces in the public square. And he was labeled a traitor, him and his family. And so there he was in print. And I'm like, that's when it really blows my mind, right? I'm like, holy cow. So that was a very incredible moment, knowing that while I'm going to see them all, and some way, somehow, I am meant to help them. And like I said, I've helped the most haunted ones, the most supposed evil ones and negative ones. If you care, they're still our brothers and sisters, all of them. They're just souls that are trapped, right? And so those are the moments that really blow my mind. And I can go on and on about several of them doing this work.
So what do you think is preventing him from, or other trap souls, from finding the guardians that are helping them cross over?
Okay,
where is that disconnect?
That is an excellent question, Sharon, because that question actually pertains to the living as well. Okay. The same reason we get stuck here and we can't move forward in our lives and manifest what we want is what my work is all about. Even my book, The Secret That's Holding You Back, it's all about the lack of self-belief, self-worth, self love. All of that sticks you and holds you back, because if you have all those negative beliefs about yourself, you were just talking about the light. That is the light you are actually putting out into the universe. And my work actually pertains to the fact that most people don't believe what they think they believe, because there's a protective mechanism in your brain that intentionally suppresses and pushes out of the way all those internal beliefs. But that's what it stems from. Now you die and you don't have your body and you're stuck with that belief.
Okay.
You don't think that the light or the guardians are there to help you. I was a hospice social worker and I helped over 500 patients during their transition period. And being in North Carolina, the Bible Belt, okay, well, let me tell you about them. Those supposed Christians, like I said, don't believe what they think they believe. Well, you tell them that they have a prognosis that they're going to die in 6 months, and their true beliefs come to the surface because the defense mechanisms break down. 90% of my patients were petrified to die because they all thought they were going to hell.
Wow.
And so
that's what they're taught. Heaven or hell. Damnation. Right. If you do something wrong, you're going to burn in eternal damnation.
Right, because that's what they were taught here, right? And so that's what they believe about themselves. No self-forgiveness, no self-love. And now they're at the end of their life, and they fear that that's why they're going to go to hell. So no, they don't. Well, most of them, I will say this for people out there. So I don't want everybody petrified that they're going to become ghosts. No.
Ron, he put a no vacancy at the gate.
There is a reason why people who have experienced near-death experiences and come back have described that they saw their mother, their father, their lover, the angels. Whoever you believe in, what you're comfortable with, is who will be there for you during your transition time, because it is uncomfortable not knowing what you're doing. You're leaving, you're acclimating to a new existence, no body, pure energy. And so seeing those people give you a comfort, and it gives you the comfort of knowing it's okay. And they're literally holding you by your energetic hand. And there's unbelievable love surrounding you that we have never felt on this earth.
Yeah.
You cannot define that love. Some people have, which is really interesting. And so that's what embraces you and will allow you to move on and go forward. Okay. But those that have that inner fear because they've been so negative, they've been so attached to the earth, they've been so evil or caught up in evilness in their lives, or a horrible traumatic death. It's why no children are evil, but they can be caught up in all of that negativity that happens around them, whether it be their parents or the circumstances. Wars wind up causing a lot of souls to get stuck, young, old, women and men, because of the devastation that occurs with wars. And the Civil War and the Revolutionary War are very strong in the United States. And then that negativity is built into the ground as well, and negative begets negative. And so that's what winds up sticking them. Why every religion has some kind of prayer for the deceased, prayer for the dead, prayer for the lost soul. Halloween was All Hallows Eve. That was a celebration and a religious holiday to pray for the souls. All Souls Day, when I was born, April 1st. April 1st. Isn't that funny? I got to tell you something funny. I was born on April 1st, All Souls Day. I talk with souls. My last name, my family is not completely Sicilian. My mother is Sicilian on her side. My father's side comes from Tunis, Africa. And they never said that. The name Genna is Arabic and it means heaven. So Jenna
Wow.
means heaven. I'm born on All Souls Day. Isn't that a setup to let me know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing?
The clues were there, Vincent. The clues were
Definitely.
there. You
But
needed
let
to
me
follow
tell you,
the yellow brick road.
and I pushed them all the way and resisted them all the way, no matter what I was told. I am such an arrogant, obstinate Italian New Yorker. I'm telling you that right now. I just bucked that process. I didn't want anything to psychic. I'm not going to become a loony like those crazy people in California. No, get out of here. And guess what I am? I'm a psychic and I'm proud of it. And
Yeah.
so can everybody else be. So that's my story with that. I hope I answered your question.
You did. And I've got one real quick question.
Go ahead.
How would you guide our audience to connect with the unseen, unknown, and unheard?
Okay. All right. So they're connected all the time. They just don't know it. So what they have to do is start honoring, especially that inner voice. We all have an inner ear. That's the mind's ear. And we all have an inner eye. By the way, that's your third eye. Of course, in the new age, we had to label it something more mystical than your mind's eye. But it's your mind's eye. It's what your mind sees with. Okay. Well, you have to honor all of that comes into you to start with. So, what does that mean? Honor it, listen to it, hear it, even take notes about what's coming in. Even if you think you're making it up, it's your imagination. Well, guess what? Why would you be making it up? And what is it about your imagination? Your imagination is what connects you to your higher source, your soul. That is part one. Always listen. Don't be afraid to ask. Quiet the left brain thinking by doing some meditation. That's the purpose of meditation. If you don't like meditating, then just sit there and talk out loud and then go to listen. People don't listen. They think they're listeners, but they listen with their outside ears. They're not listening with their inside ears. You have to listen inside of you, because that little voice will tell you. And I'll give you a perfect example. There was a day that some people woke up in the morning getting ready for work. It was during the week. And one father turned around to his wife and said, "You know what? I'm going to drive the children to work today. I came home late last night. I didn't get a chance to spend some time with them. I'm going to drive them to school. I mean, school, not work. I'm going to drive them to school instead of them taking the bus." All right. So he's going to be late for work. So what? All right. Another one wakes up and says, "You know, I'm taking a me day today. I don't know what I feel. I haven't taken off all month. I'm going to stay home from work today." Another one was like, "Hey, honey, I don't want to be late for dinner, so I'm going to go into work late this morning, and I'll do the chores this morning. You needed me to pick up the cleaning. I'll do that this morning." And several people heard this inner voice that told them, or this inner inspiration that said, "Do this instead right now." And you know what morning that was?
9/11.
9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, unfortunately, those people who listened to their inner voice also felt survival guilt, but that wasn't they listened, they heard. How many other people that morning or any morning that there's a devastation or a disaster or a problem or a 6 car pileup on the highway, how many listen to go down this road instead of this road today? That's the way the voice and your higher self talks to you. And so many people are asking, should I take this job? Should I marry this person? All of that, those answers are there. You're connected directly to that higher source.
And would you say it's a gentle, it's not a screaming, stop, don't go. It's more of a, hey,
I can't believe you
this way
said
today.
that. God, your higher self, the angels, deceased loved ones, everything in that realm will never say
Yeah.
anything negative to you. It is always gentle. Just like I said, nobody was told that day, don't go to work because there's going to be a plane crashing into the building. Nobody was told that. You can't respond positively off of a negative message. That's why your psychics, your intuitives, anybody you even go to and ask a question, even your friends and your neighbors and those you think have the greatest advice to give, if it's not positive, then it's not good. It all has to be positive. And that's even in warnings like the person you're with. Well, hon, I don't know. Do you really feel that? What do you feel about being with that person? Well, I don't necessarily feel it's going to be the greatest relationship. And it's like, I don't feel that we match or anything like that. Okay, that's more positive. Even if it's somebody, oh, there's going to be rain today and a storm. That's not negative. That's just caution. That's a warning. That's an awareness. Okay, raining outside is not negative, but driving 100 miles an hour, and it is, so you will be
Yeah.
told in a positive way. I've always told people come to me for readings, right, all the time. And a lot of people are fearful that I'm going to tell them something negative. And I tell them, I will never tell you anything that you cannot control. However, if you go into a party and you drink a lot and you get back into a car, and I'm seeing you do this, and you get into a car accident and you wind up hurting somebody, I will see that. And I will tell you, it's best if you go out drinking tonight. Absolutely have a designated driver. Do not get into a car because there's a good chance that you can get into an accident. Now, that is not a negative
No.
message. That is a common sense awareness, right? It's so you have to be aware of that. The other part of tapping in, to go back to Bethany's question, you must do self-healing, because what winds up happening is any message you receive is going through a filtration system coming out and through your conscious mind. Your human conscious mind has all of these hurts, pains, scars. And by the way, I'm coming out with a second book called Stay Strong, All Your Scars Can Be Healed. And that is a continuation from my work on the first book. But your filtration system's going through that. So you must work on that inner cleaning. And to me, it's also the reason why, if you go to an intuitive or a psychic who gives you negative messages like that, their messages are being filtered through their own stuff. Okay, empaths, for example. Oh, please, if you know anybody who is an empath, understand this. It is not that they are picking up somebody else's negativity and taking it onto themselves. We cannot do that because then we would be victims. What an empath is doing is somebody else's negative stuff that they're going through is inflaming and citing their own. There
Okay.
is not one person who has ever expressed to me that they are an empath who has not had some horrible stuff that they had gone through as a kid. And their scars are being hit because they're listening to somebody else. How many times in a conversation, right? We say this, that you're just going back and forth without the intuitive stuff. You're listening to somebody talk about, oh my God, I got these aches and pains, and you wouldn't believe what happened to me this week. And the other person is thinking, well, you think you had it bad. I had a worse week than you did, right? That happens all the time, right? Or they make it about themselves, right? And so that's the same thing as an empath is somebody, but they're not doing it consciously now. It's all happening unconsciously. Heal your inner stuff. Do the work. You've got shift balls, crappy shift balls, backed up inside of you. We are constipated with scars, and that's most people, and this is the earth. What you are seeing happening on the earth today is because of all those scars that people have left unhealed, and now they're coming out onto each other. Heal them, and you'll hear and listen and honor that inner voice, and you will make the greatest connection you can ever have.
Yes. Wow.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, Vincent. We are going to play a really quick game of shit or shift.
Shit or shift.
And
Yeah.
what it is that we're going to toss out some scenarios to you. You tell us if it's a shift, if it's aligned and expansive, and of course, total shit if it is something that needs to let go. It's false. It's constrictive. All right, go. You want to go first, Sharon?
Yeah. Okay. So I only have two today because you've answered most of my shit or shift
Mine
questions.
too.
So it'll be a quick one. Vincent, is destiny fixed, or are we literally changing timelines every time we make a new choice? Shit or
Yes,
shift?
both.
Okay, elaborate on
All
that.
right. And the reason for that is we all have a plan before we come down. That
Okay.
is the destiny we create for ourselves, or shall I say, a blueprint. No builder tries to build a home or anything without setting out a blueprint first. Your astrology is also a window to what that blueprint was. So that's why it goes hand in hand. However, once you come here, you intentionally forget that, because part of your journey is either following that so that you can experience what you planned on experience, but free will allows you to change any blueprint at any time. And we have to change a lot of our blueprints because a lot of people have set up suffering within their blueprint because they think they need to make up for something they did in a past life, and it's unnecessary. So yes, we have both a destiny, and we also make shifts at the same time in the same life.
Okay.
All right, I've got my one because, like you, Sharon, he answered so many of mine. This has been
Yeah.
an absolutely fabulous conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vincent, is fear a real energetic warning system, or is it outdated programming running on autopilot?
Oh my gosh! You keep asking me questions where both are accurate. It's both. It's both ingrained in us. Okay, which is what my work has been about: is to change that ingrained those fears. Fears are created for us when we first come down here as children, right? The messages, the negative messages we receive from our environment, including our circumstances, the adults in our lives, all of that, our siblings or anything like that. We receive those messages, we start creating these negative self images, which is what creates fear. The lack of love creates fear. All right. So
That's
that is now ingrained in us. Well, we can't let go of them. This is what my book is all about. You need to change them. If you think of writing on a whiteboard all your negative fears and self beliefs, okay, write them down. Well, now the New Age and the New Thought, especially movement, says that if you change your thoughts and you look at positive things, you can throw away and forget about all your fears. Well, that's like taking pretty pictures and pasting them on top of the whiteboard. That's what everybody is doing with all the decks of cards that they're getting, pasting them on top. And I will say, have you changed one fear? No, you've covered it up. And that's the reason why you're still not manifesting what you want to manifest, because you're connected in the unconscious part, the whiteboard part, not the pretty picture part. That's the
Spiritual
conscious.
bypassing.
So yes, fears can be let go, but you have to be the one to change them. But they're so ingrained, it makes it that much harder for you to change it, but you can.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. I have one last question for you. Aliens. Are they here? Do they communicate with us? Shit or shift?
All right, let me tell you something about aliens. And Albert Einstein knew this, and so did anybody who was connected. Okay.
Yep.
In order for any being to escape their universe and come and visit any other universe, they must have command of spiritual principles. Therefore, yes, there are extraterrestrials. I speak with them all the
All
time.
the time.
They are our brothers and sisters who just went to a different universe to incarnate and learn about themselves the same way we did. However, we are the least advanced out of all of them. They are completely benevolent and trying to help us. And the reason why we are the least advanced and they are the most advanced, because when they incarnated in their worlds, they focused on their spiritual growth.
Mm-hmm.
When we incarnated here on this planet, we focused on our physical growth. That is why our technology far surpasses our spiritual ability to use it. We're even creating technology such as AI to try to remind us of who we really are. AI is nothing new. It's exactly what we have. We have all the knowledge, we have
Yep.
all the wisdom because that's how we were created. But we have forgotten that we've been created that way. So we keep creating things outside of us that we're impressed with rather than knowing the only reason why you can create it is because you created it a long time ago before you even got here because you're a magnificent, unlimited being. You're so impressed with this damn thing. This thing, okay? If we learn to tap into ourselves the way we tap into this friggin' phone, we would finally get the understanding of how magnificent and divine we are. We have the ability, we have the knowledge, we seem to be moving in that direction, but I will tell you this, it's not a promise. Our alien friends are coming down to help us, and brothers and sisters, because we are on the verge of Sodom and Gomorrah again being repeated. We're destroying ourselves. Look at the bombing, look at the killing, look at what's happening to the planet, the storms, the volcanic eruptions coming alive again, the earthquakes, the floods, the tsunamis, the diseases. We are all of that. We affect this earth. They're here to try to help us. Get over it and say hello to your ET friend. Don't
Praise
just
God.
phone home. Okay, ET phone home. They're coming. Stop being so surprised and amazed and freaking out. And for God's sake, stop thinking that they look like spiders and that they're reptilians that are going to suck our brains out. That is your own, like I said, information coming in and being filtered through your own shit. Take care of your shit first.
Yes,
What holy shift ball is about. It's
absolutely. That's exactly it.
Well,
Wow.
Vincent,
Wow,
Vincent,
Vincent.
thank you so much for all of this amazing awarenesses that you have brought to us and to our audience today. If any of our audience members would love to work with you, I mean, I know yeah. How would they get a hold of you to schedule a meeting to have a one-on-one or
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
How would
All they have to do is go to my website at vincentgenna.com, and that's GENNA. From there, you can connect to everything. I have a podcast myself called The Genna Effect. I haven't been on it for a little while, but I have, a couple of hundred podcasts on there with all of this information on it. So they can go through there and they can also write me and I write them back. Yes, you can schedule appointments with me. I also list events. If you sign up on my website, you'll see where I'm going to be. I've actually got, something coming up with the Shift Network. I'm going to be teaching for 7 weeks. I've got my own teaching
Nice.
programs on how to connect. I've got one I'm creating right now for February about connecting, learning how to connect to your higher soul, the God source, and even extraterrestrials beyond our dimension and our world here. So that's how you find me. And thank you. I mean, for being on shows like this, it is amazing, inviting me to be able to put this information out there. Because if it wasn't for you ladies, then how would this information get beyond my own home? You know what I mean? So
Well,
thank you
thank
so much for
you.
the opportunity.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
Vincent.
much,
We
Vincent.
really enjoyed having you today, and you definitely expanded our horizons. I can only imagine some of the people watching this are literally reeling with some of the information that you shared. But it's great because that's what the show is about. It's about expansion. you
Yes,
know,
I want
and
to blow minds because our human minds are a little messed up. So if we open them up and do everything we can to get them open, maybe we'll awaken. I don't want to put new information in. I want to awaken what's already inside
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
beautiful,
No,
beautiful.
Beautiful.
right?
Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Vincent.
much,
Thank
Vincent.
you guys.
All right, it
Take
was
care.
lovely having you. Have a wonderful day.
You too now. Bye bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Bye
Bethany.
bye. Wow, Sharon. Yeah, that was just as great and better than I knew that we
Yes.
both had the awareness that this was going to be. And wow, it's so nice to be able to talk to someone so informative that also connects with the spirit and with the galactics and the angelics, and to hear how he's done it, and it's just just absolutely makes my heart just like shine, and you know what I mean, it's just like yes,
Wow.
to
Yes.
bring that shift to everybody, and yeah.
And in such a fun, like Vincent really was the epitome of what we want for a guest because he was informative, he was fun, he was funny, and he delivered his information in a very palatable way, but he made it engaging. And yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better guest. I mean, he's
Yes.
amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
Sharon, who do we have on this
Oh,
show?
hey, well, buckle up because we are continuing with the trend next week. We have a gentleman by the name of Bob Ross. Now,
Yes.
Bob has a bachelor's degree in physics, which is absolutely incredible. And he was the first person ever to graduate with a distinction in physics with a dissertation in nuclear physics.
Mhm.
So, Bob has, I mean, he covers a
Yeah.
gamut, I mean, a gamut of information. We can't even
Yes. It's
hardly, he has,
absolute.
he helped make one of the biggest breakthrough discoveries ever about cancer cells.
Mhm.
He discovered an unknown effect of the thyroid gland from disease. He comes from
Yes.
a long line of inventors. His grandfather was a famous research chemist and invented an alternative to chlorine. Um,
Awesome.
he
Just
he
yes.
has even worked with the US Secret Service. So next week, get ready, buckle up, because Bob is
Woo-hoo.
going to take us to a whole new level and it's going to be amazing. So yeah,
Yes.
it's wonderful. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your comments, Jake and Ron. Appreciate it. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in,
And remember, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shift Ball podcast.
where we help you turn that shit into a shift.
All
See
right,
you next
till next
Thursday.
time.
Bye bye.
Bye.